Hello, everybody. I hope you are so having a fabulous Monday today. And I already see that Cherie is telling me good vibes, which is totally what we're talking about today. I am so excited. And is it Jelly's birthday? No way! Happy birthday! So I'm so excited to be here with you today and to celebrate Jelly's birthday. Hello. So she is behind the badge, and she is so excited to be picking the winner today from our giveaway. So if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card. And I think huge shout out if you also wish her a happy birthday today. So excited to be here. And I see Dee and Meredith is here, and Miss Tamp and Nancy. Hello, Nancy. I hope you're getting a little sun. And Teresa's here, and Shiomara is here. Hello, everybody. It is not cool here. I got to tell you, Nancy. I hope you're sending a little bit of a cool weather our way. And I'm actually talking today about travel journals. So I know summer is like, that time to like travel and like spend some time. It's a little bit of a calmer, quieter time, maybe some time for reflection, or if you're going anywhere. So I'd love to know, does anybody have any travel plans going on? And I'd love to know, let me know in the chat. Hi, Sue. I hope you were doing well. I was just thinking about you this today because I'm like, oh, I hope you're enjoying that we finally don't have rain, which is great. And we have Carrie, hello, and Wendy from British Columbia, which is where I actually would like to travel, Wendy, if you will have me up there. And I see 990 Lojo. I hope you are doing well as this is your first live. Thank you for joining us. And we have Christine. And Christine, thank you so much for sharing this. And you too can be like Christine and to be entered to win a gift card. And we have Jelly, who's going to be choosing that by the end of our show. So just let us know where you have shared this to, and you'll be entered into the running. And I see Wendy, you've been out in your garden. Oh, Wendy, you got to tell us, what have you been gardening and which Altenew stamp set is it most like? And I see, thank you so much, Sue, for sharing this. And Yen from New Jersey, hello. Oh my gosh, such a lovely day. So let me see, Carrie, you're going to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan this weekend in a family cruise. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Hi, Andrew, how are you doing today? And all right, so we are talking in Melly, hello, also a place that I would love to go. And Erica, thank you so much for sharing this. And again, if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win. And Christine has a cruise planned at the end of July. And thank you, Meredith, for sharing this with your mom. I hope she can join us. And yes, I want to go and see British Columbia, Geraldine. You have no idea. And I see Flora Healing Empath. Hello, thank you for sharing this. And Dee. And as Nancy is saying, also I would like to see hang out with Melly, who is in Italy as well. So we're talking travel today. And sometimes when I travel, especially if it's a longer place, I like forget where I started. And I kind of, when you travel, you end up being a little bit of a different person because those experiences really shape you. And so sometimes you don't know who you are or in the beginning, or it's just who you're kind of like what's happened and as you kind of changed. And so having a place to record what you have done, where you have gone, the experiences that you've had, what you felt when you were standing in front of that Duomo in Florence, or you ate that amazing meal that you had at that restaurant because, you just kind of walked down a side street and you found this amazing restaurant in Florence. And so, what is it? Or you're in British Columbia and you're staring out at the beautiful, amazing Pacific Ocean and you just like, wow, this is so amazing that this is here on Earth and I get a chance to see this. Notice, Dee, I'm mentioning a lot about Florence. So me too. So that's what really this is about. So I like to make little tiny journals that I bring with me. And then if I'm staying like with family, maybe I haven't seen that family, if I'm going to be with family at that time. And I was just thinking about, that family cruise is like, this is something that you can give to your family members when you leave, right? So you can say, hey, these are our memories together, instead of like sharing pictures or sharing whatever, is you can actually physically give them this and say, here you go, here's our memory of this. And so that's the idea, is that you can create this little book before you leave. And then at the end, it goes with somebody else, or you can keep it for yourself and you can have a whole bin, water bomb and no, Melly, no, that's terrible. I don't want to hear about that, about Italy. So this is, I know, Wendy, I was going to say your garden's like the die cuts, so Wendy's been gardening today. So Altenew, as you know, it's all about florals. So I'm going to show you a really quick way you can use a lot of the mini delights. And that's really what I pulled from. And I am focusing a little bit on like beach and summer, but it doesn't have to be that. So maybe you're going to Kew Gardens, or you want to go to beautiful gardens and you happen to be going to the Netherlands, or you are going to Melly, I'm just thinking about some amazing gardens in Italy to go to, or British Columbia as well. So what are those things, and what could you do? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And as I'm going in, so we're talking about, are you traveling? Maybe your favorite place that you've been to, that you have traveled to. And then the other one is some things. What are things that you wish that you had written down or remembered, etc. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go on down to my desk, and we're going to get started. And I'll show you how I put this together, and then I'll show you how I kind of, decorated it and got it ready for my travels. All right, so as you can see, this is a little bit of a crazy mess because I pulled a lot of stuff. And that's what I do as well is, taking a look at, all the things that I can use. But I really feel like when I'm making a mini journal set, the mini delights are the star of the show. And mini delights are always amazing. They're so easy to use. And this is really where they are. So I pulled some mini delights, and the big one, like I said, I've been, thinking about beach, and I'm thinking about, going to the ocean and kind of hanging out. And so I grabbed this one, which is called Summer Wishes. And this is the big one that I'm going to be using today. And I really like some of these quotes that they have. Isn't it cute, Carrie? So yeah, right, Christine? Like, it's like written more stuff down when my kids were young. And these are even things that, I was even thinking about transitions, right? Because this is a time of transitions. You have, like a lot of weddings are going on, graduations are going on. We've already talked about those. And even like when parents are, right now in my life, we have a lot of parents that whose kids are going off to college. And so this is a way that you can, hey, let's remember the fun things about home and your dog and whatnot. And that way your teen can actually flip through these and have these like really cute little things. So this is, you can do a lot of different things. And I see Leslie. I hope that you are doing well, Leslie. Hello. Hi, Leanne. How are you doing? And Carrie, I'm so excited, Wendy, because this is, oh my gosh, you went to the Titanic exhibit. Ooh, that's exciting. All right. And this again is, it's really like a little quick thing, but my goal of this, or when I do these things, is I want to give these journals away. Sometimes they're for me, but a lot of times they're actually for like as a thank you. Like if I end up staying with, a family, or I stay with some friends, then I give them a little journal of our time together and all the fun things that we did. All right, so I'm just sharing with you these little sets, and these little baby sets, if you go onto the website, and sometimes there's a lot of products on the website, these little sets are awesome. And they really coordinate well with the Summer Wishes. And this is the Mini Seashells. So you can see the seashells are a little bit bigger. They have a little less detail, but perfect for coloring in. And then you have little starfish, and there's a little starfish here, but this one's really cute. You got a big one and a baby one. And then look at this little bucket. I have an idea for this little bucket that we're going to use as well. So these are really kind of cute to use. This does come with a die. I didn't buy the die. Why? I don't know. I also grabbed this Mini Delight because this watermelon just screams summer to me. So this is a cute little Mini Delight set where you can stamp a watermelon and a rind. It's really cute. And it says, you're one in a melon. I thought that was cute. And then I grabbed a Mini Delight, which is wild geraniums. And I thought that was nice to have a little bit of flower because let's face it, you can't have an Altenew set without having some sort of flower in there. And then I grabbed this one as well, which is the Handy Dandy Notebook. And I thought this was cute to talk about journaling. So these are I'm going to move a lot through all of these. There's some blending. We have some coloring, but there's a lot going on. All right. So again, we're talking about mini travel journals. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you how do you make it. And it's really easy. I honestly use 2 pieces of paper. And my kids are going to kill me, but my kids love the Goya Spanish rice, so I grabbed the packaging from it. That's my cover. So, all right, so we are talking travel. Do you like to bring little places, like a little notebook with you? Like, what do you do when you go to travel? All right. So this is my little book. This is my book. These pages, each of them are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is an A2 size. So this is a normal size for card makers anyway that we're used to using. And out of 2 pieces of paper, I have 10 pages, and I even put a little pocket in there, and I'll show you how to make the pocket. And it's totally enough. And then you can actually grab like a cereal box or anything at all that's thinnish enough but sturdy. Or if you want to take like 2 pieces of paper and you can put them together. And I have to tell you, I totally messed this up. So I'm not going to finish this, but I'm going to show you what at least what the idea is that this can slip in here. And if I had a larger, I lost my other elastic band, but this would put over here. And then now I have a cover for my little journal, just to keep it a little bit, a little bit more sturdier. So that's what we got. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about what the heck do I do with this? So let me do this. Yes, Carrie. And that's the thing. And you're bringing this with you, right? So you want to think about like, what could I make for these journal pages? Like, what would be some things that I want to remember? And you could have one of these for each day that you go, because then you can take these and you can have a whole bunch of little ones and put them all in there. So I had some ideas. I'm going to grab my paper in just a second, but I grabbed some ideas for like, what would I want to put on journaling pages? And this is like just some ideas. And I'm going to do some of these today, but let me grab my paper. All right. So I'm going to start with just some 80-pound cardstock, and this is just white cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to grab 2 pages of this. So I'm going to grab 2 pieces. So here's 1 and here is 2. Okay. If I can grab the second one. There we go. All right. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this, and then so easy to do. I'm also going to need a scoreboard and my bone folder. So I'm going to grab that in a second. All right. And again, we're thinking travel journal. And I see near Bologna. Oh, I haven't been there, Melly. All right. Okay. And I think my favorite place that I have ever traveled to, I have to say, was probably Italy. And it was in Capri. And it was absolutely lovely. So this is Sorrento. Just an absolutely lovely place. Looking out on the beach was just amazing. People are so nice, and I just had a really great time. And amazing food, I have to say, because that's probably the most important thing for me, is definitely food. All right. So on my piece of paper, I have 8.5 by 11. And so on the 11-inch side, as if I was going to cut this up for, just card bases, I'm going to cut this at 5.5 inches. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this in half. Okay. So I'm going to, now with these, this is going to make up the bulk of my pages. And I'm going to now score these at 4 1/4. So this is my 8.5-inch side. So in my 8.5-inch side, I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. And so this is just going to go right in half, as if I'm making a sideways card, right? A landscape card. So I'm just going to make these into 2 cards. Really super simple. This is like, oh, okay, Amy, this isn't so much. So if you already have these made, you can grab some side folding cards. And now you don't even have to, you can skip this step. It's super easy to do. All right. Now I have one more piece over here. So already with this, with just one piece of paper, I already have 8 pages for my journal. This is just one piece of paper. And you can use pattern paper if you want to. I'm using white because I want to, create my own backgrounds, but you can use pattern paper, anything that you have left over. So there already we have a lot of pages. All right. So now with this guy, I'm going to make a pocket page. And this way, if I have any tickets or anything that I want to remember, and I'm going to make some tags, this is what I'm going to do with this side. All right. So this time, I'm not going to cut at the 11. I'm actually going to cut on the 8.5-inch. And I'm going to cut this at 5.5. And this is going to leave me with a strip. And this strip is actually going to be used because we're going to use it to mat some of our photos and make some tags and other things like that. Okay. So that's it. That's all my cutting is all done. No more cutting. Okay. I'm going to hold this. That's going to go to the side. Now on this, I'm going to make my card that's going to fold. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4 1/4. So that's 4 1/4. Now I got all this extra. I'm going to flip this and I'm going to score this at 2.5. And this is going to make my pocket. So now I can just fold, I can just fold this up. And I'm just going to fold this over. Make sure that goes in nice. And now I have a pocket page. And I can just take some tape. So the Altenew double-sided adhesive works super great with this. And all I'm going to do is just take this, put it right on these edges as close as I can get to the side. And then I'm just going to put them. Yeah. Do you fold into the mountain or the valley? I always, Wendy, and exactly what Roberta said, I score and flip and then fold. I love that. That sounds like a mantra on that one. And so when I go in, so I crease it and then I fold on the other side. That's how I do it. Okay. So I'm going to cut these little extra pieces off. Got a little extra with the tape as per usual. All right. I'm just going to redo my release paper. And now I have a pocket. There we go. Now I have a little pocket. So I can put a tag in there, or if I have a ticket, I made some tags so I can add some tags in and just some little extra pieces so I can have some memorabilia in there. Super duper easy to use. Okay. And now, how do I keep this as a little book? So you have a couple of options here. I am just doing this the easiest way possible, and that is to use an elastic band. I could actually poke some holes in here, and I can take some thread, and I have some Altenew thread that I grabbed hiding somewhere on my desk. Oops. Oh, here it is. I can actually take some of this thread. Now, this thread is really thin, but it's really great for this. So I can poke some holes with a pokey tool, and I can actually weave that thread through. So if I wanted to, I could actually create an actual book with a seam, or I can just use an elastic band. Now, the benefit of the elastic band is it will keep everything together. And then if I wanted to add more pages in, so here's another book that I made. I can just put these pages in, and now I have like a super big book without having to like redo it all. So now I have a massively large little travel journal. Okay, so that's what I can do. So super easy. So super, super easy. All right. All right. So now what the heck are we going to do with this? So whenever I do anything where I am building, I always make a mock-up, and I also put on there like what pages are going to be where. Because if these are my outside pages, this is my first page, and then this is my like second to last page, right? So if I do a scene that goes across this, it's going to look kind of weird. So you really have to be cognizant of what is going where and how it's working. All right, so I'm going to take my little book. I'm going to put my elastic band on just so it all stays nice and all together. And this way too, I can tuck in if I have any like extra pieces, I can tuck them in there in my little elastic band. And then I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to very, very lightly just put some numbers here. And I'm going to put them down in the corner. So that way, when I take these out, I know who belongs where, why, what, when. And this just helps me to keep track when I don't have them all together. Except I can't count. But other than that, we're good. All right. So I'd love to know. So we're talking travel journals today. I'd love to know, where have you been? I've already seen some places there that I definitely want to go to. And this is really, sometimes when I stay with friends, and they're so kind to me, and they take me to places, and they take me out to dinner, and it's just really, really nice. What I do is I actually leave them with this, obviously with a nicer cover, but I leave them with this that has some memories and some quotes and things that we've done together. So that way it's really, easy to do. Yeah. And Christine, this was, the size of the pages is nice, right? Because otherwise sometimes this is too big, and this is some, this is too big or it's too small, but I like this size because it's good. And this is what we're used to, because it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this is one, I want to say again, this is only 2 pieces of paper, so it's not a lot. And Wendy said actual bookbinding thread. Whoa, Wendy, that's, I would love to see what you do. You probably do some amazing things with that. All right, so now we have this. So now what are we going to do? This, by the way, this extra piece, this is what I used to make some tags. And I also made a photo frame. Now, let me show you how I made those. And I made those using the Terrific Tags die set. So I just cut out 2 different sizes of tags. And this one is with the Mini Instant Camera Frame die. And that one comes out of here. So I did that all out of this. You also can take this and we can actually turn it into photo mats. And the photos that I use, because you're like, where are you putting photos and how are you doing that? So you actually can take a, if you have one of these, like little instant cameras that come out, this is like a 2x3 and it's an immediate picture, right, that comes out. So you don't actually have to go and develop photos. I have done this and I have actually like, you know, gone and like developed photos while I was on a trip. And that was nice because when I gave a gift to my host family, it was really nice to have that because I could, you know, it was already there. The other thing you can do is they sell little travel printers. And these charge, sometimes they come with, this one's charges by a USB. And so this is just a little photo printer. And so this connects with an app on your phone, and then you can just pop out any pictures that you have from your phone, and then they go here. And this is going to be, I think these come out as like 2, actually you can change the sizing. I think the largest here, I think it might be 2x3 or something like that. But that is another one too. So this is a great thing as well. And yes, that's what I'm saying, Shannon. Like if, you know, a lot of times we come home and you're like, oh, I got to like scrapbook all this. But what if you did it while you were there? And then it's done and you have it in a nice thing. And I'm seeing all these like, oh, wow, Okinawa, Japan. That's beautiful. And Wendy, cruise from Vancouver and the Hawaiian Islands. Oh, great. And that's great. And that's awesome because you could even take, like for your quilting buddies, this would be such a nice little thing to have some pictures of you guys. And I love that you guys are putting in all these beautiful places that you have been and that you've seen in the world. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to grab this. So this is where we're going to start. And like I said, this is going to be a place for my photos, So I'm going to take a second and just cut this sucker down into some things. And your phone, I'm wondering about a mini printer. Yeah, the mini printers are great, actually, Wendy. Sometimes I do like a journal. Oh, I wanted to show you guys that too. So if you're like, this is not going to happen, Amy, I am not going to take paper and put this all together. You can actually get a book and you can do some similar things. And just to show you guys, so these are photos that are from that little photo printer, right? So you can add in some of these little things that you've done and memories that you have and put those all in there just to kind of remind you of some of the things that that have gone on. And so that's kind of a little nice thing to do and to organize for that. So you also can use this as a book. But again, my idea was that we're going to like throw this, you know, we're going to give this away to somebody. All right. So my little strip here that I have, it's 3 inches this way. So I'm going to cut this off at about 2 and I'm going to do 2.5, I think. So I'm going to cut this off at 2.5. And then these are going to make like little photo mats for my book. And you can use these as journaling cards if you wanted to, as photo mats, lists, if you want to put a bunch of lists in, quotes maybe that you've seen or people that you've interacted with. And so this is just a way that you have, we're not, you know, we're using up all that paper. So that's the only piece of paper that I have left is this. That's it. Otherwise, I've used up all the paper from the 2 sheets. All right, so now let's put everything together. These are some ideas for what I wanted to do with my book. And now let me grab my book. All right, so now it's 30 minutes in, and we are now going to actually do this. All right. Oh, Caribbean Dreams. That's a great idea, Barbara. It's beautiful. Lots of downtime on a cruise. And that's what I was thinking too, Wendy, because this is this would be a cute thing to do like at the end of the cruise, or when you're at a place like, you know, you have downtime and you want to kind of remember, because, you know, sometimes on cruises especially, or even if you're on a trip where, you know, somebody's bringing you around place to place, you forget what the heck you did the first day. Do you know what I mean? So this is kind of a way to remember or to remind yourself about what you're doing. All right. So the reason, again, I put those numbers in, I know this is number 1 and I know that this is number 10. So these pages are not going to flow cohesively here. But what I'm going to do on page 1 and what I do on page 10 are going to be 2 different things. All right. So I built a mock-up on scrap paper. And so I'm put in what I want on page 1. So page 1 is going to be photos. So I have a little photo mat, so I'm going to grab that. All right, so let me grab my photo mat and I can put this in. In fact, I think I'm going to use this. All right, there we go. Now I can put in photos. So I like my handwriting. I don't have a problem with handwriting, and it's something that I don't mind putting in. So the fine liner pen set is great for me because I like to actually write everything. And in fact, if I had the 4th pen, which is the one I think I want, it's all right, we'll make it work. Then this would be great. Yes, I don't have the brush pen. My brush pen is hiding somewhere. Brush pen. You also can have the, I'm just going to grab this, the gel pen set, and that one's great too, because then you can add some little bit of embellishments on this. All right, so I'm going to grab this because I really wanted the brush pen. I don't know where my brush pen went. And yes, I have 2 sets of pens because pens to me are like the best thing in the world. I love pens. I'd like to go to Japan just to go pen shopping. Oh my gosh. So if you wanted to, you could do quotes on here. You could do, you know, if you wanted to do that, or you could put like a title of that, or you can do memories, or you can do friends. I'm just going to add in some photos. So I'm just going to put that right up at the top. So I know that for me, this is my photos. Now, if I'm using the fine liner set, but the pen set, that's the dual tip pens. These are great for this. And these are the ones that I bring in because these are really light. They come in their own case. This is actually what I travel with because I can color and I can write with them. And those are super great. Oh, I love all of these. These are so great. Sorry, I have a hard time writing fancy and talking. Sorry, everybody. I have a hard time. Okay, so I got some photos. Now we gotta decorate this a little bit because this is a little boring if I just do this. So let's start to decorate this. All right, so I want to add in some stamping, and I'm going to grab my black ink, which is, of course, the best black ink ever, and that is Obsidian. And I'm using Obsidian because if I color these in, I'm going to be using a water-based medium. And because I'm personally not using alcohol markers, because if I were doing this, I don't always travel with them. I usually travel with these, and these are water-based. So that's what I happen to do. These are fabulous. So I'm going to put this little guy down. And I want to start stamping some of these. And I actually want to stamp some starfish on here. And if you want to, you can add die cuts. I'm going to keep this really, really low on the bulk. And so I'm not going to add in die cuts. But if you wanted to, you totally could. And then I also want to add in my seashell. So I'm going to actually put in... I don't think those are too big. So I'm going to add in these little seashells. And all I'm doing is just going to be making little groupings that can hang out on the corner. That's all. All right. And this is a great place to have your stamps. This is actually an Altenew block. I really like this block because it's a 2x3 and is such a nice little set here. All right. So I'm going to grab my little guys and I'm just going to make a little trio out here. So I'm just going to group these together on my block. And I might need another block. I'm going to put this seashell in. I think that's a scallop. You guys think that's that's a clam? That might be a clam. I always try to figure out what the artist is trying to represent with these. All right, I thought I had a larger block. You know what I'm going to do? I'm using my stamp wheel because I don't have a big enough block. All right. So I'm going to grab my stamp wheel, and with my stamp wheel, then I have enough space to kind of move this around. Now I could take these and I could, if I wanted to, mask it off, but I'm just trying to do something a little bit quick. Now I want to point out that I have the stamp wheel 1.0, and this is why I need stamp wheel 2.0. That's because my paper's going over here. So with the stamp wheel 2.0, I could take this off and have my paper go across. Okay. So that is another reason I need the stamp wheel 2.0, if you haven't figured that out yet. But I need it because it really would help me to do this. Okay. So I'm going to put these little guys here. Here's my little guy. And then I have my little flip-flops over here on the side. All right, I'm going to put my little thing on, and then I'm going to stamp this as best I can without moving anybody. Let's see if he goes in. I can't do it because I really need the stamp wheel 2.0. Darn it. All right, that was not working. We're going to try a different thing then. Okay, sorry about that. See, that's why you need stamp wheel 2.0. Jelly, we got to put stamp wheel 2.0 up on the list. Everybody needs to have one at this point in time because it's awesome and it's amazing. All right, so now my little flip-flops, I'm going to put them like this. Just double check. Oh, yeah, that's going to be really cute. I'm going to flip these. There we go. All right, so just going to take this and put this here. All right, so I'm just taking these and just grouping them around. So I have them the way I like them, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them right on the corner. All right, so here we go. And of course, I'm going to condition my stamps real quick. Now with this as well, I'm going to add in some very, very light blending. And I'm going to show you guys in a second the colors that I decided to use. Because again, I'm thinking like, bleaching, like, I'm thinking about like beachy kind of stuff. And that's where I want to go. So that's really my thought. That's why I pulled these specific stamps, and that's why I pulled the colors. And I'll show you those colors in just a second. All right, so here are my little stamps just right here in the corner. And I just want to stamp these down first. I do want to make sure this is wet, this, although the obsidian dries very quickly, I do want to make sure it's dry before I do anything. And if I want to, I could actually take this and I could put some, clear embossing powder on it. I'm not going to do that, but I might hit it with my heat gun and see how it does. All right. You notice that I'm like really making sure this is making super good contact with my paper. But if I do make a mistake, I can just use my fine liner pens and, oh, that starfish. You knew that was going to happen, everybody. I know you did. All right. I'm going to pull these guys off because my other two were great, and starfish was being naughty. And starfish was being naughty. Okay, there we go. And that's why, again, I need the 2.0. I need it, right, Carrie? I need the stamp wheel 2.0. This is it. Like after this, I'm done, and I'm with you, Roberta. I'm using my reward points and going to go buy it right now after this live. Teacher here that still teaches it during. Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right. I know cursive writing. I have to tell you, I appreciated it. I do use it. The students have no idea what I'm saying. It's like its own little, language. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. My starfish is okay. I might hit it. I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of a heat tool. And that's because I just want to make sure that this is going pretty good. Okay. Again, I just want to make sure that this is nice and done. Okay. Okay. There we go. Awesome. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some, so let me show you the colors that I had chosen to work with today. So I have like a nice yellow. So I wanted to grab like a nice deep kind of yellow for this. But I need like a nice blue. So of course you have to get something like Tide Blue and Sea Breeze, right? Because those are going to be great. So see how those go together really well. And I need like a little bit of like a lighter kind of, cloudy day blue. So I grabbed these from the Tranquility collection. And I want to have like a nice little sand. So I grabbed, I have some sand dunes, and I'm also grabbing Pastel Sunrise just for like a little bit of a beachy theme. And then I need a little pink in here. So I'm grabbing just a little bit of strawberry. So these are kind of like my colorway for this, for like a beach kind of scene. All right, so I'm going to start. I need to erase my little one here. And I'm just going to grab some extra paper to put right over on this side, just to make sure my 10 does not go crazy pants. Okay, so I put that right over here on 10. And I'm going to actually grab my, I'm not grabbing it. Okay, it's going to grab my my stamp mat to do this on, but it is not working. So we're just going to do this. It's going to work. Awesome. All right. So I have not been looking up. I got to tell you, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I know I love all the stories you guys were sharing about where you've been going. And I hope this is like an idea that is interesting to you about doing a little travel journal like this. Again, the idea is that you make this ahead of time. And, it's kind of a way to get excited about where you're going and what you're going to be doing when you get there. So I'm really excited. It's kind of cool. All right. So I'm going to grab my small blending brushes, and I'm just going to do like a little background on this. Very, very soft. And I'm actually going to start out with sand dunes. And again, I'm just going to go right off my little page here. And I just want to make a little bit of a glow. I just want it to be not so white, right? So you can see why I needed to protect that page 10, because it's going to be a little different over there. I want to make sure that's down. Okay. And I'm going to leave the top of this white. And I am going to color these guys in with my markers. But it's okay that I'm putting ink on them because this is all water-based. So everybody's going to play well together. Okay. And I do want this little bit of graduation and variation in this. And that's why I love these mini blending, the small blending tools, because that's what's going to give me that little bit of variation. All right. I'm going to go right over photos. And I'm just going to add this little bit of color. All right. Now I want this to look a little sandy, so I'm going to put and stipple in some other colors. Okay, so that way I'm going right in. Now sand dunes is really light. I'm going to cover this. Let me add a little pastel sunrise and see how this goes. And just to add a little pink to this, especially if we're down in Bermuda with a little bit of pink sand. Oh, I'm so glad Cardigans and Cards. It's fun because, again, I feel like this is a great way to get excited about where you're going. You get to learn about where it is. It's like, what are the places I want to go to, and where are we going to visit? And like I said, I give these away as a thank you, just to say like, hey, these are all the memories that we made, and then also as a way to remember what the heck I did, because sometimes I forget that, especially as I'm going along with what's going on. Oh, Kathy, you can dream. No travel plans for now, but that might be coming up. And I also wanted to say, we said this a little bit. These are also little great things to have for somebody who's like transitioning, right? So if you have somebody who maybe is going to college and maybe needs a little reminder of home or some things that are amazing about them, this is also a thing that you can do. So it's a nice little thing about that as well, right? And so you can have a little booklet like this to have encouraging sentiments or lists of things that you're amazing, as something to give to a graduate, right? So somebody who might be graduated from college or graduated from high school and going to college, and or even moving away and moving to a new town. And so that's kind of the cool little thing about this, is you can have that as well. All right. I wanted to grab some espresso. All right. I just realized I don't have water. I wanted to, it's not going to work. Sorry, guys, I forgot to grab water. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to take the espresso and I was going to like beep, 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 flick it on this. And I can't do that. So, but that's what I would do. Imagining I'm taking espresso and I'm just flicking it on here just to get it so it's a little bit stipply. All right. So I'm just going to grab Islands of Fiji, and that's just literally because it was the top one. And I'm going to start coloring in my little guys because I think this is pretty good. So these are super great because you have a detail end, but then you also have this other end, which is the brush tip. And so I can get a pretty neat little edge to this just by using both ends. All right, so I'm putting this in. These also are water reactive, and that is really a great thing about them, because if I wanted to, I actually can smooth these things out with a little bit of water. And I apologize, I don't have my, I do have my water brush. It doesn't have any water in it though. My son was doing some watercoloring, so let's see if I got, yes, just a little bit. This cardstock, it can't take a super lot of water, but you can actually take just a tiny bit of water. And so where these edges are a little bit like, you can really see the orange and the yellow, I can take a little bit of water and just kind of smooth those edges out so they start to blend in with each other just a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to grab a little bit of this orange and just add this in just to blend that orange and that yellow out. You can't add a lot of water with this because it's not watercolor paper, but it can handle just a little bit. Okay, so we'll do just a tiny bit there. And I'll add, when that dries, I'll add a little bit more. Oh, hi, Tracy. I'm so great. Oh, Cindy, that's a great idea. Oh, no to the sea. On my recent trip, I'm seriously thinking to bring good old pen and paper and with me for the notes for the next trip. It's nice, Cindy, right? Because then you can like have, this thing and you can give it away. And then that's kind of the thought process about it. Tracy, I'm so glad you're here with us. We are talking about travel journals. So some things that you would do, we're talking about doing little tiny journals of, what you would want to share as you kind of go from place to place. And these are little travel journals. Like if I go and I'm visiting somebody, or if you're on like a family trip, these are really cute things to give away at the end. So that way, hey, this is kind of like, thank you so much. And these are all of my amazing memories. And then, so I give it a little bit as a thank you to the person that I was able to stay and was so kind to host me. So just as kind of like memories of that. All right. And again, these dual brush tip markers are really easy to use. All right. I got about 15 minutes here. So I want to move on to my next guy. All right. I'm going to use this and just add in some little flip-flops. All right. So I have a card here that I'm going to pop out in just a second. And that card was like ideas for what some of these pages could be. So what some of these travel pages could look like for that. All right. So like I said, so here's my photos, and then I'm going to grab, if I can find it, is my little photo guy. So you can see here, I can add this on. And with this, now I have this really adorable little place to put a photo. And we talked before about the fact that with these photos, I can use my instant camera. I can use a little photo printer. In fact, I like to bring photo printers with me because then I can you know, just print out all of those little things. But how cute is that, right? So again, mini instant camera frame die. So cute. And then little flip-flops, starfish, and you just have this like little beachy theme. And how cute that would that be with a little picture of a little beach, right? Or a beach scene or playing in the water or something like that. And so you could do a lot of these as you move along and have all of these little photo pieces that you hear. And there you go, Roberta. And how cute would it be that you had a whole book for your food, like food adventures, right? Especially if you went on a food travel thing. So just to kind of, again, show you like how cute this is, like how cute, right? So there's our little first page. Now we have something here. I can put a little bit of a memory on here. Say, look, okay, that's what's going to go with this. Maybe this is a reflection. So that's what I'm going to do on this side, is have a little reflection on there. And that's why it's important that we put these numbers down, okay? And let me grab that little piece of paper that I wrote down kind of all of these ideas of what could I put in this book. And these are some ideas that I have for there. So that one was a photo page. So now I'm going to show you a diary page. So what would a diary page look like? All right, so here I'm going to start off with 2. So I know I want to do the 2, right? And I want it to be similar to my photo page that I have here. So I know I need to match that. So I'm going to bring out my little handy dandy paper. And I'm just going to protect, and this is on page 9. So the opposite here is page 9. So I'm going to protect this guy. And I'm going to do something a little similar here because I want to have a nice space for a reflection. So remember I cut out all those little, 2x3 little pieces of paper. These are places where I could put this in if I wanted to, and this is a place where I can write, or I can just write directly on here, and that's totally fine. But this is going to be a place for my reflection. And so I'm going to grab my black marker from the fine liner set and the brush marker. I lost it again, guys. I lost it again. Jelly, how are we doing out there? And by the way, I just want to mention a huge, huge happy birthday to Jelly, who is behind the badge today. I'm so excited that you're here with us to celebrate her birthday. And you have about 10 more minutes to share this live while we're live, and you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. And we were talking about, found it. Here we go. We are talking about mini albums. So what can you do? And again, I've used 2 pieces of paper and I was able to get 10 pages out of this, which is actually pretty neat. All right, so here I'm just going to put down memories, right? So just a reflection, a memory, whatever it happens to be. If it's something you want to leave this blank, then that's totally fine. But I'm just going to add in memories. And I know I'm trying to make this fancy. You don't have to. You could stamp this. I just find it easier to write these. Okay. I just find it a little bit easier to write them. And I like my writing, so I don't mind it. And I can go over that again. I can use a different color, etc. I'm just going a little bit quick for time. All right. So I'm going to do the similar thing on here. And I'm going to start off with that sand dunes and just laying down a base layer for sand dunes. And again, I'm looking for it to be a little dark on the edges, and I want to move it to light, and I want it to be white. And I'm going to leave this section up by memories as very, very light. So I'm just kind of thinking about from here down. So I'm just adding this in. And I love the small blending tools for this because this is really awesome for that. The next thing, if I have a little bit of time, what I want to show you is what to do. I made some tags, and you can add those tags in. And then I think I want to show you the lists. I think I'm going to do the list page next. Lists are really neat because they're easy ways for you to remember some things that you have done. And then sometimes I put coloring pages in because I like that too. So if you have a coloring page, sometimes I'll just stamp in black, and then I can go in there if I have some extra time and do some coloring. So I kind of like that too. All right, I'm going to add a little strawberry to this. Again, just get some pink sand in. And strawberry is kind of a pinky brown, so it goes really well. And I'm really trying to keep this right on the edges just to get it a little bit on the darker side. And I think I'm going to go a little bit bold here And I'm going to grab some Rocky Shore. Going a little crazy here, guys. All right. How are we doing? Oh, that would be so great, Beth Ann. A then and now page. Oh my gosh. That would be cute. Imagine if you did that. I don't know how many trips you go on, but like if you carried that like over the years, do you know what I mean? And then they could see themselves like change. That'd be really cute. Or if like you went to the same places each time, like what that would be like. That'd be great. And again, even think about for a college graduate, how cute this is. Because eventually they get a little sad, they're homesick, and this is one thing that they can open up and take a look at it. So, oh, that's a great idea, cruise partner. Oh, and a map. Yes, you see, I saw that idea, right? So you have a place for a map. Anything you like. How some people love to like find shells on the beach. Like, what are some of your beach finds? So again, these are some ideas that I came up with, ideas for your journal pages. And I also have this cute quote one, which I hopefully will get to. All right, so for memories, I'm going to do the same thing. I want to put it in for this. I think I'm going to keep the same little guys on here, but I know here, so this is what it's going to end up looking like. So I want to have them, but I think I'm going to put them, I'm going to put them in the same little grouping down here. I think I'm going to do that. All right, I actually don't want these same guys. I want different guys. I'm going to put in different guys this time. You got to keep the Starfish, though. Or maybe I shouldn't because he was bad last time. He was very bad. All right, so I'm going to put in a different seashell. Actually, even just this little, it's really cute. Just this little beach chair is so cute, isn't it? I think I'm going to stamp this beach chair, but I'm going to do it off. I'm going to do this beach chair. Again, just kind of thinking about some really cool stuff that you have. Flowers would be cute here. I am undecided. Seashells. Where's that beach bucket? There we go. There we go. I want my beach bucket. All right, I'm going to grab the beach bucket, and I think I'm going to grab this little pencil. I'm not going to do the chair. So think about the things that you have, and yes, and keep in. They make great backgrounds. Great idea, Lori, and that it would be so cute here too, right? And that's where something like that pocket. You saw how easy that little pocket was to make. Like that pocket was really easy to do. It wasn't that hard, and it was really. It's a nice little thing because it's a place for you to collect those kinds of things. And because you have the elastic band, you can kind of just shove stuff in there, which I thought was kind of neat. All right. So I'm going to stamp these real fast, and then I'm going to quickly put in a new, I'm going to try it. I want to do a list page for you guys. And I was thinking with lists, I know like you think about lists as linear and you kind of put them like boom, 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 but I'm going to show you something actually using this bucket, which is why I grabbed it. And this is going to be a list, and then you can actually write stuff in the bucket. And I thought that would be cute. You can even do the seashells because the seashells are really nice and open. So I thought those would be cute too. So you can do that with it. All right, so I'm just going to do this bucket right on this edge. Oh my gosh, Carrie, yay! Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I love that, Joy, because you're a flight attendant. That's so awesome. And then this is something that you can do to kind of like keep, you go to a lot of different places. So how cool is that this is a way that you can remember all of those things that you've seen. That's really cool. All right, so I'm going to grab my little seashell. And then you can even put your little seashell inside of here. I'm just going to put it right over on the side. And I'm actually going to grab the little pencil because that's what I'm doing. I'm journaling. So I'm going to grab the little pencil from the handy dandy notebook section. And I'm going to stamp that right on the ground. And I'm just trying to keep things in threes because that's what, threes are kind of a cool little thing to do. All right, so I put that. Now I can take, again, my markers and I'm going to color these in, but I'll show you what this kind of ends up looking like when I now put these two together. So now when I put these two together, how cute is that together, right? How adorable. So now you have the beginning parts of this and you can kind of start to see where you're heading to, right? So adorable. So we have this. This is really, really ready to go. So I'm going to do one more page for you. So just to kind of, again, to put this all together, I have, this is that handy pocket. So you can, put tags in or ephemera or anything. Really super easy to do. Try not to get obsidian on it, but you got that. And then you have kind of all of these other pieces. So I'm going to put, I'm going to do this side and I'm going to do a little list on here. And I'll show you what I wanted to do with the list. And I thought it would be neat on the side of the pocket because these could be like, my favorite finds or my favorite things that I've done, people that I met. So I have this whole idea for all these different lists that you could do, like new things I tried, memories I made, people I met, what did I buy? Sometimes you forget. Food that I've tried, what was like the weather like, places I've been. So these are all ideas for lists that you could have. So I thought it would be cute that if you thought like something like beach finds, so let's do that one. So we'll do beach finds over here on this side. And you can even take the, okay, you can even take the quotes from all of these and you could do like a little border all the way around, which would be really cute. But you can do like a whole bunch of different little things like that. All right, so I'm actually going to grab the, I think I'm going to do the big seashell. I'm going to grab the big seashell. No, I'm going to do the buckets. All right, I'm going to grab the bucket. And I thought would be neat is we do a repeat stamping on this with the bucket. And then what you can do is inside of your bucket, you can actually put in all the things that you saw. Like, what did you actually find on the beach? Maybe this is beach finds, like what you found at stores. Maybe it's food that you collected, whatever it happens to be. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a little repeat stamping. And you can, put some color on this on the background. You can keep it white and color in each of the buckets. And so, but that idea of having these little beach finds, and now you have 4 little beach finds. And so you can write them on top, you can write them inside the bucket, you can put them up on top of the bucket, whatever it is that you want to do, but it's just a really, cute idea for all of that. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I'm so excited. If you want to, try this, we'd love to use, we're going to link the little candy. So Sherry, those are, I think that one honestly is a little bit older. And what Sherry's talking about is I showed you guys ways to get like instant pictures. And one is you can get a printer. And the one I have, I think is probably like out of, there's newer ones that you can look at, or you can even get like a Polaroid camera. So yeah, great. Oh, I try new food or restaurant. Shannon, that's a great one. That's awesome. So again, think about some different things that you can do. And these, again, I'm going to put this up here as ideas for these journals, like what you can do for these journal pages. But this is really super easy. You can take these, and I'm going to share with you one last idea, guys. I know this was jam-packed, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to go and see this again, which you will be able to if you go to YouTube. We do post all of our lives there. And that was with my, if I had not messed up on my cover, which that was what I was trying to do, was to make a cover out of a cereal box, is I was going to take my cover and I was actually going to use, are you ready for this, Jelly? Because I was going to use the Altenew fabric. And what you can do is either use a glue or I was actually going to back this with the double-sided adhesive. And I was going to take this and put this over. So what a cute little cover for my journal. So that was my plan, guys, is I was going to cover this with fabric, make it a little special. And then now I have my little memories and I was ready to go if I would have been able to actually cut the right off of it. So, but it's so cute, right? So cute. So I encourage you, look at yarn, you look at some fabric that you have, look at some pattern paper and put that over your cereal box. And that's the way to go. All right. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. I hope this inspired you to think about your mini stamps and using them in a different way and taking these things. And again, my idea was that this goes with somebody else. Or again, you can use it for yourself. It doesn't have to be a vacation journal, but it also can be something you can use to give to somebody who maybe needs a little bit of a nice reminder in their life of some amazing things about them. Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off, and I just want to say thank you so much. And thank you so much to Jelly, who is behind her badge, and happy birthday to her. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I hope you have a fabulous day. And we would love to see what you make. So please tag us with hashtag Altenew. And thank you so much for spending a little time with us and letting Altenew craft your life. All right, everybody. I will be seeing you later, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.